Here's the story. Let's say America's honeybees have suddenly started acting strange. You're a honeybee researcher trying to find out why. We'll start by opening our bee-afflicting disease project in LiquidText, where we've already imported the documents we'll need. We'll start with the journal paper on the new bee-afflicting disease. I'll make a text box saying bee-afflicting disease symptoms. Now I'll take the three major symptoms, the bees turn red, they make less honey, and they fly slower, and I'll pull out excerpts of them into my workspace. Now I want to compare the discussion of the slower flight speed to the figure that's referenced several pages later. So I'll just pinch the document to bring the figure and the text side by side. See, LiquidText lets you see the most important things together so you can find connections between them. Now I want to keep track of this chart, so I'll circle it and pull it out to the workspace and connect it to my excerpt. See what I've done here? I've gathered information from different places and organized it freely in my workspace. Now let's see if these symptoms match any known bee ailments. I'll make a text box, related ailments, so I can note what I find. So I'll open a review of several common honeybee disorders. I've already highlighted the symptoms of the disorders, but none of them seem to match bee-afflicting disease. But I want to see the bigger picture, so I'll turn on Highlight View and pinch to bring all the highlights together with as much or as little context as I need. Well, I see one illness about low flight speed and another about a color change and less honey. The first is called tarditis. The second is called rubrum disease. Between them, we can account for all the symptoms we're seeing. Note how LiquidText let me see the important things together, so I could find this connection I otherwise might have missed. Now I'll draw some inklings to connect these to my note. See how ink does more than annotate, but can actually capture relationships. Now I'll expand the document back to normal again. Let's take a look at the first ailment, tarditis. I want to compare it to the second ailment, so I'll hold my finger on tarditis and tap the second ink link with my other finger. Look at that. The document automatically shows me both. This is interesting. I'll pull out the references to these into my workspace. And I'll grab that flight speed chart too. But as I read more carefully, there's a problem. The first ailment is a bacterial infection. The second is a virus. How could the bees possibly catch both at once? Well, this article doesn't say much about rubrum disease. Maybe I should learn more first. So I'll open an article alongside the current paper. So first, I'll pull out that pic of the poor red bee. But now I see something interesting. Both these ailments can be spread by the gray mite. Maybe the gray mite is infecting bees with both diseases at once. This is a crucial connection, so I'll draw an ink link to show it. Look at that. I can even connect documents with live ink links, so I can always retrace this connection later. But could gray mites really be at fault? After doing some searches, I find a short note in a textbook. First, let's pull out the reference since we may need it later. And that's interesting. They mention the gray mite is lethal to crickets. I don't know if that'll help us, but let's search our project for cricket. Okay, the inspection report from one of the afflicted hives mentions crickets. Let's see what it says. Look at that. It says there haven't been any crickets this year. Well, this explains it. The gray mite is infecting bees with tarditis and rubrum disease. We have to publish this right away. So I'll go to Send and export my workspace as a nice linear document I can send to my word processor, where I can write up the final paper. And so we win a Best Paper Award, and we save the bees.